Good morning. It is day 71 of the Mississippi River Trail, where I, as a single mom, am paddling the Mississippi River from Minnesota all the way down to Louisiana with 7 of my 15 kids.
We're a family of 15 kids. One mom and Smokey Bear.
And the 7 youngest of us are paddling the whole Mississippi River.
This is chaos made fun.
Come follow our adventure.
So today we are getting ready to do some miles. We are still based out of the boat club that has been so generous to allow us to stay here. The accommodations are banging. There's a fire in the fireplace like 24/7, and we can spread out food. So once, like Smokey said in the past, when we have a place to kind of go for a few days and base ourselves out of to do miles, it allows us to free feed the kids. And I just let them eat as much as they want to while we're here, knowing that it's a little more limited when we're actually stealth camping all the way down and we limit our food carry to lighter weight stuff. So they're in heaven, they're eating and having the best time of their life. So today we are pulling much larger mile days now due to the current. So we're waiting to see what the current does today. Wind is low. That is a huge plus. So don't have to worry about any, even the backwind. The backwind is always good. Backwind is good, but when it gets up to 20 and 25, it still creates larger amounts of waves that create currents around the wing dams and things like that. So little to no wind today. It's very, very overcast, as you can see, but it's a beautiful day and the rain doesn't move in until tomorrow. It was originally forecasted for today, but they moved it, which is why we're here another day, but we're choosing to paddle rather than just sit around and wait out the weather. So we are doing much larger mile days, hoping to get what we need done before we set out lower and head to Cairo. So it's kind of like the AT where you just bounce around. You can do miles with a support vehicle and then come back to your base and then pick up from there and do more miles and come back to your base. So we're being a little more careful with location and things like that, just to be proactive as far as safety goes with kids in tow and not giving out our exact location at any given time. So with that in mind, we're doing miles and it's a good day. So gonna go see how many we can knock out. We've got access points that are fairly decent and doable. We're gonna go see how much we can do before the rain sets in. Then we'll zero tomorrow in the rain, paddle the following day, and then there is more rain forecasted for the next 2 days. So weather is a huge, it's not an issue. Nothing's really an issue out here. It's not a crisis, but it is something we have to take into consideration more with rain. With wind and rain, especially when it starts getting colder, you don't want to play with those two. You don't want to play with wind because of the waves and the unsafe wind conditions on the water, and rain, you deal with hypothermic situations because it's cold, usually wind and wet all at the same time. So that's a no-go too. So anyway, it doesn't mean it can't be done. We just have to get creative with how we do it. And like I said, basing ourselves out of somewhere, whether it's a state park, a boat club, or someone willing to host us. So that's what we're doing right now. And mileage, let's talk a little bit of mileage. For those who are unfamiliar, I was totally unfamiliar with how this worked until I got familiar with it and had to do it. But there are navigational charts for the Mississippi River. There are about 3 or 4 that we go between. There's not one like Far Out. Far Out is a life, like a godsend for hikers, and even some river trails. They do not have one for the Mississippi. So where that's concerned, we have to bounce between about 4 different apps and websites to navigate the Mississippi River. The one that we use primarily is the Army Corps of Engineers and the Department of Natural Resources. The DNR one ended a few hundred miles ago, so now we're following the Army Corps maps. The way the Mississippi River miles are, they start from about 1300 up at Itasca and they go all the way to 0. They count down, not up. They start at 1300 and go to 0, but the 0 is in Cairo, which is about the halfway point. It's the confluence of the Ohio River. So not real sure it's the halfway point, more so as it is the confluence. Also, every time a big river comes in, such as the Illinois, the Missouri, those numbers start over again. So it's very confusing. And once you get to Cairo, which we are very near, it starts over again at 950. It goes down to 0 from 1300 to 0. Cairo, it starts over again at 950 and continues to 0 in the Gulf. So trying to do miles and figure out mileage as far as when we will be where, so far as towns coming up and things like that, trying to plan our arrivals is crazy. It takes like a mathematical, some kind of science PhD. It's crazy. So we are having now to figure out the miles down to 0, and then also figure out the miles from 950 to whatever mileage we are going to for the towns further down the way. And it gets complicated. And then you start figuring out miles at boat access ramps and how to plan the miles there. So then you have to figure in all of those equations from the ones above 0 and the ones below 0. So I spent about 2 hours last night figuring out miles and where we will be when, and kind of rough estimates. So it's not difficult, it's just challenging, and it takes a lot of patience. But we knew this was coming. I just didn't really want to deal with it until I had to, and now I had to deal with it. So we're dealing with it, and we're figuring out miles, but it takes a minute. And then once we get past Cairo, it'll start over again, and we should be good to go and not having to combine the upper mileage with the lower mileage. But all is well. We may have some things to consider as we get closer due to weather. I'll go over those once we know if it's going to be an issue or not. But right now we have a rough plan of what we're doing. It looks good. Smokey's on board. Everybody's safe and sound, and it sounds like it's doable. So we're going to go do that. So as far as today, we're going to go see how many miles we can paddle, hoping for some larger ones, come back here, sit out the rain tomorrow, and paddle out for good. So let's go paddle.
Smokey's tip of the day. Smokey's tip of the day.
Good morning from the banks of the Mississippi River. It's another wonderful day to be out here on the river. Today, let's talk about a gloomy day. If you look out behind me, you can see it's a gloomy day. It's chilly. It's going to be overcast all day today. Now, the human inside has a tendency to actually be depressed on gloomy days. When the sun's out, the human soul feels better. But when it's a gloomy day such as this, the human soul has a tendency to be gloomy. On a day like today, my advice is understand that and keep your spirit up even more. When you're out here in the wild, it is extremely important to keep your spirit up. If you lose that spirit, you lose the whole plan of the whole thing. And you don't want to lose that plan. That's what keeps you going. That's what gets you up in the morning. So you want to keep your spirits up. Look out, go. It's not a gloomy day. It's a beautiful day. I won't get a suntan today, will I? No, it might be a little chilly. I'm going to do my best to stay dry while I'm out there. We're going out. We're going to do some paddling today. So I am going to do my best to stay dry. Every morning when I wake up, it's a wonderful day. You have to find that good spirit. You have to just lift your spirits up. Don't let depression or gloominess into your system.
Get alerts when we release new episodes. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Look, hey, here's our boat ramp. Everybody was like, yeah, you can put it in Sainte Gen, no big deal. So definite option. And the water levels are so low, but this is a really, really good indication of just how low the water is. We are 14 feet below normal. And there lies the mighty Mississippi. So it's looking like a bit of a portage, or we're just gonna go find some water. But that is our put in for the day. And I can assure you that this mud right in here is going to be like thigh deep. We have lots of experience with that mud. You can see down there in the tracks just how soft it is. So we're gonna go figure out our day and see how lovely this is. Also, something interesting and a really good indication, this driftwood right here, all of this wood is where the river is typically supposed to be. This is probably a very normal level for the river, right up here where the wood stops. And of Google Earth and the way we map and plan and do miles and all of that, we look at the pictures in Google Earth. So when we did that, the water level is very definitely up to here on this boat ramp. So it looked viable, it looked good, and of the people we talked to, they said yes, absolutely. you can put in Sainte Gen as we divide up our miles and section them out as to what sections we do when. Benefits of a support vehicle, we can do sections at a time. So if we have like a 20-mile day planned, then we can put in a certain section, whereas if we're trying to make 40 miles, we'll put in at a certain section and then all the miles match up. We learned that on the AT and in getting creative with how we did the north, because we did have to jump around a little bit in order to complete our miles. And inevitably, as much as I didn't want to, the river looks a lot the same as we deal with weather. So depending on access points, we will do certain portions as to the weather that day. Weather is supposed to start at around 3 today, so we are doing a shorter day, which allows us to put in Sainte Gen and then take out sooner, whereas a 40-mile stretch with no access is going to require a much longer day and no rain in the forecast. So we piece together our miles like that. It looks a little chaotic. It looks a lot like jumping around, but it enables us to make more miles in the end because we can piece them together by weather. So wind, weather, things like that. So today we chose to put in at Sainte Gen because there are access points to get to us when the rain starts and we don't have to go as far. There's a bailout plan and there is also a longer mileage plan. And so we are able to get out of the water quicker. But this does not look to be a very viable option right now. So that's the fun part. This is part of the adventure. It's nothing major. It's not bad. It's just funny. It's made for a lot of laughs. We are also finding that the further south we get, the farther and farther the access points are. So we are up for one huge 44-mile stretch of zero access. No bailout plan, no anything. You cannot get to us. And we're finding that is more common the further south we go. But on a good note, the river is a very non-issue. There's barge traffic. That's it. That's all we're really dealing with right now is the wing dams that are exposed, which we've seen in the previous videos, and barges just doing their thing. But so far, no real alarming stuff. Everybody was talking about how bad it was going to be, and it's really actually pretty calm. So we've had worse traffic in other places. So it's very doable so far. It's just access points are getting we have to be very strategic about what we do as far as having bailout plans, because not only is it just the support vehicle, it is also should something happen, should something go wrong, should wind kick up, should rain come, those kind of things. We have access points to us to be proactive and keep safety in mind. So as they grow further apart, we are having to piece miles together according to weather and things like I said. So anyway, but it's a very good laugh for the day. And oh yeah, look at that. So we're gonna go figure out what to do and where to put in. But as of now, having to come up with another game plan takes time. So the clock is ticking while we're trying to come up with another plan. So there's that as well. I think it's interesting for y'all to know too. It's interesting for me because you just don't know what to expect. That's the fun of the adventure though. That's so much fun. You get here and you just don't know. So it keeps life moving and different and happy. But just so y'all know what we deal with and kind of how we piece it together and what we're doing. And it makes it very interesting to know the details that go into keeping everybody safe, but also making miles. So looks like we might walk our boats today. Okay, this is our other boat ramp. So there were 2 boat ramps down. This one didn't look as promising on Google Earth. It clearly is not as promising. It's not so promising at all. And y'all, there is like no water access from here. I've said before, this is the adventure of a lifetime. We're not in it to become slaves to any one idea. We're in it to have fun, have adventures, and do all the unexpected. And this definitely qualifies. It so qualifies. So Diane is actually at the ferry in Sainte Gen that's actually running right now. It's docked. As a surprise to everybody, she wants to put us all on the ferry and do our miles that way and do river magic and make a fun day out of it and all the unexpected, since this is clearly not exactly what we were expecting. So we're gonna go into town, look at the ferry. Probably not gonna put boats in today, actually. We are probably gonna do something really wild, spontaneous, and fun, and get on a ferry and go wherever the ferry goes. This is the fun of the Mississippi. This is the fun of spontaneity, not being a slave to the rule book, and just doing your thing with your kids. Go on adventures, have fun, do the unexpected, and surprise them. So we're at the Sainte Gen ferry, which is Sainte Genevieve. Everybody calls it Sainte Gen. We've learned that. It's so much easier to say. We're at the ferry, and look, there goes the ferry. However, the ferry only goes from here to there. It just goes over there, right there. So it's not like way down like where we were hoping. Our plan today was to do quite a few miles, and make it all the way down to Chester. But rain, it is now rain. Well, it's misting, it's sprinkling, you can't tell. But it's misting and rain is moving in, and we have successfully wasted so much time today that trying to figure out what to do, and the boat ramp with no water, that we are here. This is a viable option for a put-in right here. The wind is picking up, it is cold, and the rain is coming. So Smokey is saying that we do not have time. He doesn't want to risk putting the kids on the water because it's unnecessary risk. I'm neither here nor there. I can do it, and then we'll paddle in the rain a little bit. He is adamantly opposed to paddling in the rain because it is cold and the temperature is currently dropping. And I can't feel my feet currently, but that's just par for the course and part of being on trail. So they have a historical reenactment day going in Sainte Genevieve, and I think there's Stella. We're gonna go use education like we always do. We never just sit around, and we're gonna go do the historical reenactments, learn the history of Sainte Genevieve, then shuttle to Chester and go see Popeye and hit there, and then do the river miles. Probably tomorrow's all day rain, so probably the following day, depending on how we can make miles and how many we might be able to squeeze more miles in as we do them. So yes, this is how we do creative miles when there is rain, but we are trying to get done with the river by Thanksgiving. It looks a lot like jumping around, like I said. But as of now, we're currently in Sainte Gen with the ferry. We met all the locals. They're very lovely. And we are gonna go have a history day in Sainte Gen, talk to the little reenactment people because they're really cool. And then Diane over here has a friend she met the other day when she was here, waiting for us to paddle up to this point, and she met a friend over here, and he has a life story. I love stories along the way. I love people. I love hearing their stories. Why are they where they are? How can we help each other? And what is your life like? How is it different than mine? So this man had some medical issues, and he lives over here and has set up such a cool little place. He lives out of his car, and Diane talked with him for a good long while the other day while she was waiting for us to paddle into Sainte Gen. So look at this. Look at his little encampment all buried back here in the Missouri trees. And he set up like a whole little place, and it's so cute. But he's currently not here. She's gonna give him a tent so that he has a place to store his stuff and still be able to sleep out of his car and stuff. So very cool. And I was kind of wanting to meet him too, but he's not here right now. So we are going to go get out of the rain and get in a warm van, probably go get coffee, go do a lot of history lessons, then just go ahead and go to Chester so we can go ahead and do the Popeye history there, so that once we paddle these miles we can blow on through it and not stop, because that was one of our stops, to be able to learn Popeye's history, because who doesn't want to know about Popeye? And then we will, once we do paddle these miles, we can just blow right on through without stopping. We are currently in the town of Sainte Genevieve and historic downtown, and it is looking a lot like the town's trick-or-treat day. There are lots of kids in costumes, and they're all just trick-or-treating. We also learned that this is the oldest town on what?
West side of the Mississippi.
On the west side of the Mississippi. This is the oldest town. Look at this gate. It started raining on us, so no paddle day. We got there, we talked to all the locals, we had fun, and then it started raining. So it is currently let up, but it rains and it stops, it rains and it stops. So we are exploring Sainte Genevieve, Missouri. We're continuing on our Great River Road as we educate all the way down the Mississippi. We hit a bunch of those up there, the Eagle Center. We hit a bunch of those, and then we came down here and we did a whole bunch of these in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa. Here we are over in Illinois, and we did the, where did we go? Oh, Pierre Marquette State Park, we did that. So cool. And the Great Rivers Museum. So now we're over here in Missouri. So we have officially done 1, 2, 3, 4. We are in our 5th state. And in a few days, here we are. We're gonna be in Kentucky. There we are. We're gonna catch a little stretch in Kentucky. This is a good way to see the map of what we're doing. Then we're gonna hit Tennessee and Arkansas and Mississippi and Louisiana. So we are well on our way, working our way down the Great River Road. This is part of the French history of Sainte Genevieve. And this is one of the houses we saw in the video in the visitor center. So, French colonial. Here we go.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
You just go into this room here.
All right. Whoa. This is so cool.
This is a historical house. These 2 rooms here were built 1811, 1812. And the hallway that you walked in on was the front porch. So none of that across the hallway was there. That was all built 1860 and is American heavy timber frame. And then you have 2 other rooms that were built 1920, 1960, and those are German brick. So this house is a great representation of Sainte Genevieve with French and then American and then German. So you can kind of keep that in mind. So we have a buffalo skin here, and then what do you think this is?
Come on.
I can see you can see the word.
It's
Possum.
Yeah, possum.
It's a possum. Would you like to touch that? See what it feels like?
It's a little weird stuff.
Kind of weird, huh? What do you think these are?
This is a bobcat.
Yes, they are rabbit. You can actually open it and see what it looks like inside. This is the whole lock right there. Them are some big quarters. Yes, very big quarters. So these are like probably reproduction. I don't think they're original, but this would be like your first portable safe.
Those are original, they'd be worth some money.
The French had wooden shoes, they called them sabots. I don't know if you knew that. You probably think of the Dutch people, but the French had them. But the French also adopted Native American practices. So like this moccasin here, this is probably the one you're used to seeing, right? This is more of an Eastern woodlands, this is more Flint.
So the next room in here is the common room, set up as the common room of a tavern. There are games in there. You guys want to play some games? Okay.
Wake the cat up over there.
That's in the next room, in the common room over there.
Did bread survive all the way from the 1800s? Did this bread make it all the way from 1800s?
It's a weird looking kid.
It's probably not open.
It's dead.
Today's bread from the virgin from my
Yes.
You may make it that long, that's true, yeah.
Hello.
So let's say you had 9 or 10 on the 9, because that's the winning card, you would double your money. Make sense? Now, once you have money on the table, you can't take it back.
Cover 4, you can cover 2, or you can cover 6. Choose your number. Roll in. You got 6 of the 9.
There it is. We found it. It's the Jean-Baptiste Vallée house. There we go. It's closed, but it's still beautiful. Look at that. That is the one the movie was about. Oh, look at this. Look at that little house. These are all like the OG houses. Look at their garden back there. And y'all, I really am not a huge history reenactment buff. Like, I just don't really feel those things. But this is fun. Like, I highly recommend reenactment things.
At the end of that process, I have a piece of white buckskin that looks and feels a little like cotton flannel. The final process then would be to smoke it. Hold that flat piece.
Oh, different. Some of those pieces he's
More
going to
like
show you.
this.
He's showing how sharp it is.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They are sharp. Cut that clean through.
Yes, it did.
Very sharp on the edge.
Impressive, huh?
Now you can do the fishing line.
I don't know who wire wrapped it. It wasn't me.
You should make it as a necklace.
Yeah, it is. It's got a thing where you can put a chain through there.
Or you could just like poke a hole in it.
No, because the obsidian shatters, and if you get it,
It's like glass.
you can work it. Yeah, you can work it on the wheel, on a machine that you use to make like cabochons and stuff. And if you hold it on the wheel too long, it heats it up and it will pop.
Can me, A, and B make a lap around the block?
Oh, Opie, that's a good one. Very nice. But who do you love?
Me.
We have officially left our mark in Sainte Genevieve, Missouri. Look at that. 32 feet up. Has been here. Alright, so they have craft for the kids. They're over here doing very crafty things. And they're over there painting pumpkins. And then here, look at this. The weight. This is a the casket for the coffin. The undertakers. And look, this was actually the home. Mourning clothes.
Oh no! No, I already messed it up.
What are we doing, Z?
We're making a beach ball.
A beach ball pumpkin?
Uh-huh.
Are you locked in?
Very.
What is that? What are you doing?
Juvenile.
Juvenile what?
Juvenile eagle.
There you have it. Juvenile eagle. It's in the making. So those docks make it a juvenile?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I made a rope.
Pretty cool, huh?
That's how. Watch out. Oh.
A handy little rope, huh?
I've never done it 24/7, you know. So in that 25 years, there's been 6 months, 8 months that I didn't touch it, you know. So I feel like I should be a lot better.
What do you call it again?
This is called bobbin lace.
Bobbin lace.
Yes. And it's the way,
Mom.
one of the ways lace
Wait, what?
was made before they had
Make
machines.
candles.
Candles have any smell to it?
What are we doing over here?
Beeswax candles.
Making candles.
Making candles. See, you locked in? What are you doing?
Watching.
It'll keep your candle nice and straight.
Thank you.
Alright, so you're going to start by
What do you
dipping
say,
in
Kelly?
wax first
Thank
and
you.
then cooling it off with the water. So the first couple of dips.
Rachel, I think you won the prize. Yours is definitely the biggest.
You did better than mine.
I can feel it
gonna say you
melting.
might have to flatten out that bottom a little bit more.
Mom,
You weird.
Mom,
What?
look. It's perfecto. My candle.